Hello.
Anyway, welcome to everybody this morning. Really pleased to be here today. My name is Giuseppe Bettoni. I'm running class. And, with the team, we are trying to do as much as possible to share when something is, innovative, responsible at any level of the supply chain. And today we are here with the group of Ecosensor by Asahi Kasei with a range of fabrics that are sustainable, but also what we call eco-high-tech. We are here with Ecosensor, and we are here with the team of Ecosensor as well, connected from Japan. So a new eco-high-tech force of nature. So let's go into a fabric collection where high-tech is really has really integrated the eco value. So that's the team of Ecosensor in Japan. And today we have with us all the team, but we will have Kotaro-san, that is the Deputy Manager of Global Marketing Division, that will introduce also the company. But welcome to Takuya Shibata and Yuji and Keiya. I hope to pronunciate correctly the name. That is the team that is working behind the scene. We are also pleased that, we just had, the Fashion Revolution Week, where it was dedicated to the transparency, and our colleague in Japan, Kotaro-san Shirate was part of it. So we like to share with you this nice picture. But, Kotaro-san, I would like to leave the stage to you. So if you can introduce us a little bit yourself and the team and and tell me when I need to turn the slide, because I'm doing it.
Okay. So thank you for your participation today, and good morning, everybody. My name is Kotaro Saeki from Ecosensor team in Japan. We're really glad to introduce about our fabric brand Ecosensor today. So first of all, please let me introduce briefly about our company, Asahi Kasei. Asahi Kasei, our company, Asahi Kasei, is kind of conglomerate company and manufactures chemical, construction material, healthcare, electronics, housing, and yarns as well. A lot of things we are making. The yarns which Asahi Kasei manufactures are Cupro, called Bembel here, nylon 66 called Reona, and spandex called Roika. You can see here.
The words I hate to use, I always say responsibility.
Everybody please mute the microphone, because we can hear someone talking. Thanks.
And on the other hand, we also produce fabrics using not only our company's yarns like Bembel and Roika, but also other companies' yarns. So we can make the fabric from all over the world. Also, we can produce and supply various fabrics, which suits for outdoor wear, athletic wear, fitness wear, intimate, and casual wear as well. And finally, we have launched our sustainable fabric brand called Ecosensor. Based on brand philosophy, care for people, care for earth, We believe all the humankind will live sustainable life naturally and full of pleasant in body and in mind through this Ecosensor brand. Today, we hope you enjoy this webinar and get interested in our sustainable fabric brand, Ecosensor. Please feel free to ask anything if you have questions. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kotaro-san, for the introduction. And as Kotaro-san and Camilla said at the beginning, mute your microphone, but if you need to make any kind of question during this webinar, be free to do it. That's why we're here. And of course, a lot of this webinar will be dedicated to, the background of this company, the background, the values, how they work, how they did their collection. But of course, it's going to be very difficult to share with you the hands, the touch, and many others, because the video can do a lot, but cannot go to this limit. So we will try to do our best, but for sure, who wants to have a deeper than conversation about certain materials or to receive certain material, we will be more than happy to support you. You can write in the chat or send an email to each one of us. In the last slide, we will have also the email. So which are the Ecosensor key value? So we said that is a fabric range, and this fabric range is based, on science and innovation. Technology is the base, it's really a continuous development of new possibilities, functionalities, and the company know-how is expanding very quickly. Also because, as Kotaro was saying, they are part, Ecosensor is part of the Asahi Kasei group, where there is a lot of knowledge about textile at 360 degrees. But the things that they wanted to develop, it was the eco-high-tech. And that's why we see here sustainability that is a value that is integrated in the science and innovation approach. Because today it's important to innovate and to continue to innovate, but in order to be responsible, in order to respect people, the environment, oceans, and animals. So what sustainability means at Ecosensor? First of all, it's about a completely traceable supply chain. Transparency is the key value. All the suppliers that are involved into the process of these fabrics are certified, first at company level, like the ingredients. And the decision of the ingredients has gone mainly into the recycled one, because the thought behind has been, let's start, not to use new materials, but let's start moving what we have already, but something that, again, traceable, something where the supplier were certified and the ingredients as well. So something that we know what it is about. But apart from recycle, we have also organic and responsible cellulosic. And dyeing and finishing, because it's an important step. So also the dyeing and finishing process are under certification according to OUTWEAR and or the blue sign certification. So that's the kind of background of sustainability values that Ecosensor team is following. It's a starting point, because they, as Kotaro-san was saying, it started in 2020, and we know all what does it mean 2020 for the world. And step by step, we hope to be out. And, it's, like all the technology, things are expanding, but it's important to be transparent, to be clear about what these mean. And for sure, the scientific approach and with the integration of sustainability is looking at values like the comfort, and the comfort is 360 degrees. It's not just about feeling well, but it's also doing well like the functionalities for the different applications that we are going to talk in a while. Durability is another key point, because we know that in circular economy and the recycle economy, where we are in transition at the moment, it's important maybe to find out new possibilities of end of life, and the durability can allow this possibility. Fineness that should be read not just as something refined, but also something very light. and lightweight with durability and comfort, with sustainability and innovation, it's something that is an essential value. So in one slide, we try to say and we try to tell which are the values and which are the possibilities of, kind of answer to the contemporary consumer that is looking for everything, especially, and we will see in a moment, when we talk about activewear and sportswear that during the pandemic has been really, let's say, getting through problems, because when it's not possible to travel, when it's not possible to go out, also the sports part has been a little bit affected. So let's talk about application. So we talk about urban athleisure wear, where inside you can have, the innerwear, structure simple, comfort, lightweight, something that we just mentioned. And we talk about, as we said, recycle with the GRS certification that are generally mostly combined with stretch yarn, where the stretch yarn is also, the sustainable stretch by Troika, that is part of the group. And that has been the first one to arrive into the market with, performing and responsible stretch at the same time. Urban outwear, very important. Outstanding, again, light, stretching, designed to offer more something very close to a casual choice. Lightness, really important, go hand by hand with performance. Active sportswear, breathable, lightwear. We are talking about, even double layer. So it's something that you feel like you can, and you are wearing in your everyday life, but it can prepare you for any kind of weather possibility and any kind of performance that you need to look into everyday life in active and in sportswear. And if we look at the spring-summer 2022 inspiration, we talk about eco-high performance. It's something, this collection is really made to create impact and to look at the new generation of wardrobe. We said consumer, during this pandemic, the consumer has been looking for sure for something comfortable, but also looking about who's made things, how things has been made is really important. So nature-driven high-tech fabric collection that is able really to implement a new generation of values, respecting the environment, also the human being, but without forgetting the performance. Versatility, today when we talk about sport, we are not just talking going to a gym or going to just to ski. It's something that is really amazing in every moment of our life. And technologies that goes from, woven, but also circular knit, played with different texture, color, and finishing, has come back with a very contemporary consumer proposal, where, as we said, performance, durability, well-being, together with responsible values, are made a new step into creating a new generation of values. And let's talk a little bit, about what happened, in this moment and what we are looking for. So camping and caravan, this has been a solution in many countries, and we are talking also about, North America, Western Europe, but Japan and South Korea, and our colleagues in Japan was confirming us. This is a trend that is becoming really popular, to move inside the nature, inside the territory, all by yourself, where the time and the way to do things during the day, it's decided by the human being. But it's also, and I like this word, glamping, because it's not something, where you do not take care, but you take good care and you want to look beautiful and comfortable at the same time, and the respect for nature going around, that is the behavior of the citizen, but also what you wear is becoming important. And this is a market that is expected really to grow a lot. Look at, we are talking about 50.62 billion by 2022. And we believe that could be also improved in terms of numbers, due also to the fact that, you know, this is a solution where people feel really also about healthy problem going maybe into, you know, external, let's say, location. Cottage core, you know, these past few months have been, you know, trying to go back to our roots, to feel comfortable, to feel safe. And for a lot of people has been about turning to do-it-yourself projects and refining our green thumbs. So many look for a much needed escape. You know, a lot of people as going back to home in the countryside, you know, in order to feel relieved, but also to feel less stressed by the fact that we have been kept at home for a long time. So it's a cottage core. So it's all about looking and living like you are in some sort of, we say that, you know, it's very poetic, pastoral painting, even if you are very far from, really far from a farm, but it's really an aesthetic and a needs for a good looking and feel good, where these fabric, you know, the sport knit, for example, that we are using here, where you have a really amazing touch, really, you know, go from the linen touch to the, you know, something a little bit more close to velvety one, where we are using only 100% sustainable solution, right? Like recycled polyester and Roika EF, that is the recycled stretch yarn from Roika.
Essaye avec des écouteurs.
Non, non, mais j'ai le son qui est muet.
Okay.
Sorry, there is someone with the microphone open. Can you please turn it down? Unless you want to ask for a question, but I think it was just by chance. So Cottage Core Snow Peak is one of the brands that is really onto this, you know, way of living, very, you know, clean urban outdoor, where organic cotton is coming in blend with recycled polyester for really a natural tech. And but you can also look at this kind of solution that could be also for urban, outdoor, urban way for sure. So very difficult today to tell from a fiber perspective or a fabric perspective which could be the application, but for sure the versatility is something that is really going to help. So outdoor apparel, again, a little bit market numbers. So another important, you know, improvement in this application that is going to look at something more than 6% from 2018 to 2023. And again, we have seen that the latest number during pandemic, and I hope very soon after pandemic. I want to be optimist because vaccine is coming everywhere in the world. Is going really to be even further. So from outdoor apparel to footwear and all the accessories are going to be really an important part for large markets such as US, Europe, Japan, and China. So outside activities, you know, wherever it's possible, whenever it's possible, but we can find solution in this collection that goes from the knits to the woven, really to make you feel better, much better, and to look, you know, from a good aesthetic as well. It's really into something that the consumer lifestyle is approving for sure. This is another very important, you know, trend, the basic workwear to active lifestyle. We have this Workman brand, Japanese one, that started really as workwear, you know, apparel, Kotaro-san, we talk about it, and now is really evolving to maximum level at global level. You know, people is really liking this kind of, say, styles and values behind it, because durability is one of the key value also here. And it's something that we can for sure meet with the proposal of Ecosensor that is also sustainable. So no compromise, no sacrifice. At this point, we are able to look for a new generation of you know, sportswear and workwear where the lifestyle is possible, and we can do completely less impact as possible on human being and on the environment. Farm life, very nice family picture. Maybe also Kotaro-san, you can translate for us the Japanese, but for sure this is one of the symbols, you know, to go outdoor and to feel in the nature, feeling also the energy of nature, but completely equipped to stay well and to protect from the weather and from the, you know, the possibility of, you know, kind of cold and to feel always at ease. Urban gardening, this is one of my preferred pictures because, you know, it's really very futuristic, can be really something, you know, very stylish, but at the same time is protecting, you know, and it's also respecting the nature around, you know, urban gardening. A lot of people, we said at the beginning, we go back to the green thumb and we have been able also to take more care. This is a park, I think it's much more than our personal garden, but for sure that is another conversation about the needs for a special apparel. Eco-conscious leisure after sport. So we go into the nature, we go into, you know, also special structure that we can find here, and lightweight ripstop and needs, you know, where we can again find moisture management, so functionality next to the skin, also base layer. This is something of the kind of needs, you know, that you can have in your normal life, but also for, you know, base layer when you do activewear. You know, other structure in the needs, very, you know, up to the trends, up to something that is where the aesthetic is also important, the touch is important, but with content that are completely in line with responsible living. And you can see here 90% recycled polyester with 10% of Roika specialty of recycled yarn. And look also at the colors, look at the texture that are becoming more and more bold in color blocking, and at the same time lightweight. And that's part of the proposal that, you know, we have been thinking, you know, to the new consumer that is looking at sport to live better, but also to be trendy and in line with responsible values. Relaxed touch. We are going to Bamberg at the moment, so the sensual touch with a look that is natural, but at the same time really aesthetically refined, but where performance, because you know, moisture management is part also of Bamberg, with colors that are really into the lines of outerwear and urban wear. Relaxed touch, and here we are talking about the polyamide, so the supple hand, but with body, and you know, with a high presence of sustainable stretch in order to give the new shapes and new bold type. And look at the nature relaxed touch, natural relax. So this look very linen, really looking like stiff, but the touch is really, and I'm sorry that we cannot share also the touch of these materials, are giving really amazing aesthetic and touch results for really coordinates and, you know, more shape and shapy garments and items, where Bamberg together with cotton and recycled polyester are combined to give new look and new touches. Sport apparel market, it's another, you know, important part of the market that is going to improve, and their sales, you know, 248 billion by 2026, and also this is going to be, you know, updated and increased, you know, from the last number that we have seen in the recent also numbers that we have seen from Business of Apparel and some research system. So we are looking at what the main players are doing. It's important, we have seen Nike, Puma, Athletica, Gap, athletes, everybody's looking at this, but each one of these brands are moving very quickly to introduce and to improve in quite an amplified way the responsible values as well. And here we are with sport tech, sport eco-tech, light risk nylon, that is done completely with 100% recycled polyester. And I remind you that all the dyeing and the finishing have all, certified with, sometimes is Ecotex, standard 100, and sometimes with blue sign. So the care has been in looking for aesthetic, looking for innovation, but at the same time, 360 degrees, ingredients and colors and finishing. Sport apparel, ripstop behind, but with very clean and very subtle lines.
Giusy, there is a question I
Yes.
can maybe ask now. Does Asahi Kasei use any specific type of tracing technology? Is there a marker, a tag, a blockchain involved? Would be useful for an article I'm preparing for WSA.
It's a great question. Kotaro-san, I think I can answer because we have been discussing about this. At the moment, we have no tracer inside of the fibers, right?
Yeah, right.
It's, the blockchain part for transparency, it's something that we are thinking about, we have been discussing. It's part of the vision, I think, of the transparency, right? Maybe you can say a word.
So at this moment, we don't have any like a transing technology, but in the future, we hope we can make some technology or blockchain with our team.
Yeah, this has been a conversation because when you talk about transparency and when you talk about circularity, blockchain approach and the tracer could be an important conversation. So, but not yet.
Yeah, not yet. But we have all sustainable like certifications, which is like a GRS and blue sign.
Yeah, and we trace all the background of the production. So that is another important point. Okay. So sport apparel. So these are other, let's say, kind of examples on the use of this fabric that are really versatile and at the same time knits and woven, because one of the key things that sometimes you can find knits, that are eco high-tech, but in woven lightweight, this is something a little bit more difficult to find. We have heard many brands looking for lightweight woven and knits, but mainly woven. And here there is really a full range. I think the total collection, Kotaro-san, is about, between lingerie, sport, outdoor, and fashion. We are around 80 fabrics, more or less.
Yeah, right.
More or less, yes. I know that you are keeping developing, and that's why I'm asking, because every time they are really quite fast reacting to needs. So I have always problems. Yeah.
Maybe it's gonna be more than 100 items soon, actually.
We have not been talking for 1 week because it was Japanese spring break, and I have 20 more fabrics coming. So we will be in touch soon. So sport apparel, another kind of look, another kind of, everyday wear with fashion, really high, fashion values as well. Urban athleisure wear, so we go into, also the waterproofing finishing. Tracksuit done in knits with, also interesting and, very urban life colors. Another kind of ripstop and, inspiration from something that is coming directly from the sport tech consumer, 100% recycled polyamide. And, you know, this has been our journey, unfortunately, without, you know, normally we say feel and touch and background, but the touch is something that is going to come. So we are, you know, available now for any kind of question. We know that it would be good to receive some materials. So after this conversation, you will all receive our press release that it's about a little bit the journey that we have made together. But we are also available if you need some samples, you know, or if you want to set up another meeting that could be, if it's in the territory, you know, face-to-face one, you know, to touch the material. You can see here the two addresses, email addresses to ask, you know, question for the brands and question about the media. And, you know, I really thank you. But we are available if, Camilla, if there are some questions or if someone wants to intervene now, we are more than happy.
David said he has a question, so maybe now is the perfect time.
And we are happy when David is asking questions.
Not always, but my greetings to everybody at Kasei. Thank you, Josie. I found that trend update illuminating, and I think the camping and glamping, I don't know if Nomad Land is going to influence that, but anyway, I have a very important question. I've always been a lover of synthetic and man-made fibers, as you know, Josie, and you made a statement together with Mr. Saki saying nature-driven high-tech fabric. Now, technicity is very in at the moment, thanks to COVID, thanks to the internet, etc. I didn't quite understand why Ecosensor is more technically driven than the previous products that we've seen from Asahi Kasei.
Previous? What do you mean about previous, David?
Other products that you've had on the market. Why is it more technical than, say, another Lyocell or another Bemberg product on the market? Where is the technicity of this product?
Well, David, in this case, you know, when you talk about Lyocell, when you talk about Troika, when you talk about Bemberg, you're talking about fibers, okay? Yeah. Ecosensor is a fabric range. So yeah. Ecosensor has decided, you know, to position themselves into solution for the wardrobe that is going into an eco high-tech force. So something to go into the nature, because outdoor, it's about going
high-tech. What does that mean, eco high-tech?
It means that is, you know, a lot of people think that high-tech and sustainability cannot go together. You know, it's like it's not possible. But we said eco high-tech because you can do high-tech with some eco values, because we have been using materials and finishing that are responding to sustainable values. So, because it looks like that when you do tech, you know, it's not possible. Of course, there are some high-tech, you know, functionalities that at the moment are difficult to run with sustainability sometimes. But this is not the case for this kind of apparel, for this kind of functionalities. Ecosensor has been able to deliver a versatile collection, as we have been able to see, not touch, unfortunately, you know, that is telling the stories of a human being that can live, you know, to run, to jump, to walk in a city, and to protect, you know, from the weather, from the conditions, in a very important way that is, you know, guaranteed by high-tech material like, you know, the polyamide or the polyester, but through a recycled technology that has been traced and measured. That's the difference, David.
So you're saying that the technicity comes from the processing and the making of the fabrics, and then the performance factors such as wickability, moisture control, and all the rest. That's the technicity of it.
Well, there is a technicity about the construction of the material, for sure, and the ingredients that you use, as you know, as you can imagine, you know, and then you have the finishing, you know, for example, that has been used in order to give some performance, and always anyway according to Ecotex values or to the blue sign values. So we are not saying that we are going into direction of perfection, but we are going into direction where we try to make the best out of materials that has good values and to deliver functionalities that are high-tech for this kind of solution. So we are very, conscious and we try to tell in transparencies what we can do. So.
Do you think the word recycled in front of polyester and polyamide is enough to undo 30 years of consumer prejudice against man-made and synthetic fibers?
No. And we use today this terminology that we at class normally we do not do, but just because we wanted to be clear, we couldn't start to go into other premises. But normally when we tell this kind of story, we talk about transformation of the material, because it's transforming a value that was there into another value and not wasted. That's, we have in front of us three approach to economies. We have the linear economy that is taking, use, and waste. Then we have the recycling economy, that is the one where we are in, where we are taking and recycling part of it, and some is still wasted. But we are going through the recycling in order to get to the circular, where following the end of life of the cradle to cradle philosophy, we are going to or recycle forever the material in order not to create impact, or to transform it and going back to the soil without create any kind of poisoning. So that's the objective, but we know that it's going to take some time. So we have to start recycling, but as you rightly said, all the recycled are not maybe completely sustainable. So it's important to mention, for example, that's why at the beginning we said we give the choice to recycle, because it's important to use something that we already have, but we choose a supplier and we choose ingredients that were aligned with the values of ethical, and ingredients that are proving really to be recycled in a certain way. That's where we start from.
I have a lot of questions, but I do not want to hog the whole.
But David, we can talk also later whenever you want. That's why we did this conversation, not to.
Fabrics were delicious. I think they're really nice collection, and absolutely the points you made. But there's a lot of discussion. I mean, the vengeance. What are people going to wear now? This is the big question, because I believe, like you, in sportswear, in comfort, in these factors will go on in a hybrid way. But the market, it seems, from what I'm reading, is all back into denim, into flowers, into dresses, into dressing up. I'm wondering how this fits.
Well, but I think, David, as usual, the market is always, it's not anymore black and white like in the 80s. Now you have really many kind of into bracket trends. Of course, it's not for everybody, but we are looking at the part of the market that is looking for values, because we have market research we can share with you, that is a value-driven consumer, that when they are making the choice, they are looking to the style, because we choose with the eyes. They're looking at the performance, because, if I need to walk, if I need to run, if I need to stay in the, rainwear, for example, I need to be protected by the rainwear. But of course, they want to know who made it. One of the key, let's say, value that come out during epidemic and is continuing, well, there are two. One is justice for people, Ethical has become key. A lot of people seem to have discovered that maybe all the things are not done with the respect of people, and that's, and the second one is health. Of course, I need to be sure when I wear something that we are not going to have problems, but we know, and this is a big conversation, that sometimes, you know, we are receiving in Europe, for example, things that, you know, China will never wear because the laws of China are not allowing that. But this is a big conversation, as you said.
But you just,
of course, it's not that everybody or nobody, there are really specific needs from the consumer that we are trying to address, in this case with Ecosensor, and then thanks God we have different partner of class that is trying to address other things. Nobody of us is perfect, because if people is saying I'm the best, you know, that's where
you're such a political, you are such a political.
Political, okay. If I was a political, I was already out of the world. Really, I'm not.
sorry, one last thing. You use words like justice, you use words like protection. There's another word very important at the moment, which is health, healthy.
Of
Can
course.
we apply that word to Ecosensor in any way?
Pardon?
Can we apply the word healthy or helping health in any way to the Ecosensor?
Sure. Absolutely, 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 yes. That's why we said traceable, you know, and following ingredients that are certified. When you say certified, it's because there are laws to respect. And the same thing for finishing, because when you're working in the outdoor, the finishing are even more important sometimes than the ingredients, as you know, David. That's why we have not done everything, but we start from the basic, right, Kotaro-san? You're mute.
Sorry.
I was saying
Sorry,
that we have
yeah.
not done everything, but we start from the basic, trying to
yeah,
put
sure.
together,
Yeah, sure.
you know, aesthetic, ethic, and responsibility and innovation,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we need to deliver innovation.
Yeah, right.
Any
Yeah,
other
we're going
question?
to.
I see that Sophia raised her hand. I don't know if she...
Hi.
Hey,
Just a quick question, and maybe forgive me if I missed it, but I was noticing a lot of vibrant colors, and I was wondering how they achieved such vibrant colors, if what sort of dyes they used.
should I answer? Kotaro-san, do you want to answer? They're using, let's say, normal into bracket color, but color and finishing that are good according to Ecotext rule, you know, about health, about impact, and also in some cases also to blue sign one. So this is the range of dyeing that they're normally using.
So these chemical dyes can be approved by Ecotext?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm talking to the media that are present. You know, if you want to see the collection and touch and go through these kind of things also in another moment. Now that we are yellow, maybe we can do some sort of touch base to touch things as well.
Wow.
Yeah. We have the collection in Milan. So. And Kotaro-san is going to send me also the last ones that he was mentioning that we didn't have. We'll do the assessment as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other question?
Can I ask? Hi, it's Andrea. What level color fastness rating does the fabric get, especially for the vibrant colors?
Kotaro-san, can you answer about the, you know, the stability of the color, you know, color fastness?
Color fastness, yeah, it depends on the color, but we usually keep the color fastness within our standard.
That are?
That are managed by GIS.
Yeah. So around the 3 to 4?
3 to 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 to 4 or more than 4.
And then can I ask, have you guys done anything to minimize the microplastics that would get released from the recycled polyester fabric when it's being washed? Or would you just advise the use of a guppy thread bag or something?
If I can answer, because this is another conversation we had with Asahi Kasei. And at the moment, as you know, I don't know who is talking, so I'm talking What's the name?
Andrea?
Edge, okay. We have been talking about it, but as you know, at the moment there are not clear indication, about how to handle, what to handle. So the only thing that has been done at the moment is for sure to talk to brands about how to, give instruction also about how to wash and how to take care about the garments that are coming out from this kind of, we have been talking to many brands and all of them are trying to do their best to manage, especially the washing of the garment. And we know that there are a lot of projects going on with washing machines, for example.
Yeah.
But as soon as and you know that there are thousands of movements, association, lab, entities that are trying to get, one day is the recycled polyester, the day after it's about the span, cotton span, and then the acrylic, so there is a problem that needs to be fixed and we need to start, from what we know, but the solutions are not yet, evident. And the only things that we can do is try to minimize at max in the moment that we wash, even if we have heard that, it's much more than that. That's what we hear. But we didn't hear solution in a different way.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So if there is no other question, I thank you all. I thank you all the Ecosensor team, for this presentation and the fact that they are keep, pushing despite the fact it's not really easy times for the market, and to keep pushing even more with sustainable values. And for any kind of further question, to have samples, to have information, please, you see the email address. We are more than happy to answer, the class team and, Ecosensor team. And hope to see you soon, maybe from September. I don't know what is going to happen in July, but, hope to see you soon and have a coffee all together. Grazie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very
Bye.
interesting.